Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Theory. Today we'll be going over Loki Season 2, Episode 2, titled Breaking Brad, which I assume is kind of a play on Breaking Bad, but they changed Bad to Brad because this episode is centered around X5, or his real name or stage name, Brad Wolfe. So we open in London in the year 1977, only this is titled The Sacred Timeline. So we know this is not a branched off timeline. We see Loki and Mobius attending a premiere of the Zaniac, which is a Marvel character. They walk past a familiar poster because we've seen it in the Eternals movie. It's one of Kingo's movies. We see X5 or Brad as a movie star. We knew this was coming because this was all in the Loki trailers. He's living a life he may have previously lived or is just enjoying this new role that he's taking over. Whatever it is, Loki and Mobius put an end to it. We get a quick chase sequence with Loki and X5. Once Loki catches X5, he uses some sort of teleportation device to get out of it, where Loki counters with duplication and telekinesis. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but this is one of the few times in the show that he actually is using a good amount of powers, and I love to see it. Once they detain him and bring him to the prison, they confiscate his tempad. They decide Obi should look at it and see what he's done to it. Now, Obi is stressed because he is trying to retrofit a machine that will help with all the new branches. So Obi is a bit too busy at the moment and gives them the orange TVA book that we saw in the last episode and now in this episode. Turns out he's the author of it. I wonder if Obi has any part in the creation of the TVA. He's been around for over 400 years, so he knows everything about it. I really don't know, but let me know what you guys think. Anyways, Mobius and Loki are trying to figure it out when they decide Casey is better suited to do so. So Casey figures out however that Renslayer was in communication with someone before she erased all data from her tempad, which we know from the finale it was Miss Minutes. Loki and Mobius make better use of their time and interrogate X5. It doesn't really go too well when X5 calls Loki out to be a villain, which he's been throughout the MCU until Thor Ragnarok. It's a bit of a reversal now, I believe, because usually Loki is the one being interrogated, so it's kind of funny. Mobius then gives it a shot until X5 is able to get under his skin. We see his fear is basically being happy and being free. Just to show how much it bothers him, he gives X5 a not so friendly slap to the face and leaves. There seems to be a theme in this episode. Circles, endless loops, and Loki's endless loop of being a loser and a trickster is the deepest meaning here. Loki calms Mobius down and tries to tell him it's okay to lose it. He's lost it many times. One time that he brings up is the events of the Avengers, where he claims he got so mad at his dad and brother, he tried taking over the world and threw Tony Stark off a building. He realizes now that wasn't right. That was a mistake, showing this is not the same Loki stuck in an endless cycle of doing the wrong thing. Obi realizes that he can not fix anything because it needs access from He Who Remains. He says that He Who Remains is dead. Obi kind of looks at the camera when he says that we would be stuck and we will die soon if they can't fix it. Loki and Mobius try another way of interrogating, being the hard way this time. They use this machine that basically puts a cube over its subject and you can shrink it. It seems as much as you would like. Eventually, he'll get X5 to break and tell him where Sylvie is and, well, she works at McDonald's in another timeline. The same place we saw her in the last post-credit scene. Loki tries to explain to Sylvie that he sees her dying in the future, and she disagrees with what he's saying, as it sounds pre-written and that they stopped at the last season. Sylvie reads X5's thoughts when she realizes there's a plan with some officers in the TVA to prune all other timelines. So they get back to the TVA and try to stop it, even joining forces together, but it's pretty much too late. They see the timelines on the screen and all are starting to fade away. B-15 and everyone are horrified, saying those are people, meaning billions of people are being killed because of the agency they work for. Sylvie tells Loki the TVA is the problem. They are rotten, and goes back to her other timeline that is one of the few that I guess hasn't been pruned. The episode ends with her on the Ford pickup truck at McDonald's. So another solid episode right here that advances the plot tremendously. The big lingering question so far is who pruned Loki? Now, I have a feeling, this is just my theory, that won't be answered for a while, but who knows? This episode again was fast-paced and a lot of deep meaning to it, especially for Loki. Let me know what you thought of this episode and what are some predictions you have for episode 3. Catch you all in the next one.